This is a PRS DGT model from around 2008. I got it in 2008. I was working on Guitarist magazine at the time. We had one in on review that was very similar, and I was quite taken by it. I'd met David Grissom at the PRS Experience over in Maryland, and was quite taken with him. Just loved everything about his playing and all the rest of it. Loved the way he approached the guitar. And what I hadn't realised, probably about 10 years before, or thereabouts, I'd gone to my first ever NAMM show. And what happens at a NAMM show is you, in the day it's the exhibition, in the night there are various things that happen. So I found myself in one of the hotel ballrooms watching a gig, and on the left hand side of the stage was Steve Lukather. And Luke was playing his Music Man Luke guitar and I think a bunch of VHT amps. And on the right hand side of the stage was David Grissom, and David had his gold McCarty model and a 50-watt plexi. And let's just say it had a profound effect on me that evening. So that stayed with me, and I didn't really know who Grissom was at that time. So later, PRS comes out with this guitar. I get to meet him at the Experience, and so what am I going to do? So this guitar is absolutely factory fresh. Well, not fresh exactly. It's been very well gigged, so it's covered in a few dings and scratches and things like that. So the basis for the DGT model is mahogany back, carved flame maple top, as you would imagine, mahogany neck in the sort of standard PRS fare. They made their own pickups for this guitar, which as far as I can tell are pretty close to a PAF style humbucker. It has separate volumes for the neck pickup and the bridge pickup, which I really like. I like that. And it has a tone pot with a push-pull. Now, I'm not usually into push-pulls because I never think they sound very good, but this one sounds really good. Three-way switch, and in my opinion, the best floating tremolo that exists, in brackets, that sounds good too. I got this guitar when I was playing in a rock covers band, and as people will know, I'm a Strat person really. That's my kind of home territory, and I'd had a couple of R9 Les Pauls because of that was the sound I kind of was looking for, and ergonomically, I just, personally speaking, I find them a little bit difficult to deal with. Then that whole Grissom experience happened, and I met him and all the rest of it, and this just seemed to make perfect sense because it does have a little bit of Les Paul tonality about it. It's a little bit lighter because it's double cutaway, obviously, and it has the trem, which brings a little bit of Strat into the picture, which might make it sound like a jack of all trades, master of none. Not at all. It absolutely sounds like its own thing, and every time I bring it out, you'll probably notice in some of the playing clips, it's such a resonant guitar, so you'll hang on to a note with a bit of gain, and it'll easily go into feedback. So yeah, when I'm in a rockier, and when I say rock, I mean Texasy, bluesy rock rather than... I don't do that, so I can't do that. Yeah, this is it, and it does that exceptionally well. This is a really interesting one because if you listen to David Grissom play, you'll hear him do all kinds of string-on-string bends, so he'll kind of... all those kind of almost country type bends, and what that means is if you've got floating trem, If it's floating and there's not much tension in it, you'll get strings going out of tune. Now, of course, it will do that if you bend if you do huge bends, but it's set up with 11s with a pretty good action, and even though the trem, you can wobble it nicely, it's got a fair bit of tension in it. So what that means is, so PRSs have a 25-inch scale, which is a little bit shorter than Fender's, tiny bit longer than Gibson, or at least this one does. So it's really sat in that really nicely, finely balanced place of good tension in the strings. 10s on here would be not enough for me. And I think that also helps you keep that tuning stability when you're doing string-on-string bends. And same old story with the action. It's probably a little bit lower than the Strat, but yeah, get under the strings. Nope, the one we had on the cover of Guitarist had a 10% nicer finish. It was a little bit more tobacco-y around the edges, because it is nitrocellulose finish as well, which was another thing that really attracted me to it. It was one of the first PRSs that they'd ever made with a proper nitro finish. I think that's changed a little bit now. But no, I mean, the pickups sound great, the trem works great, it looks ace, down to these little buttons and things. So no, I wouldn't want to change a thing.